Hello and welcome to another edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. A prominent election strategist has predicted improved performances by India's governing BJP in several eastern and southern states where it is not strong as it is in the Hindi heartland. Prashant Kishore said in Tamil Nadu, the party is likely to achieve a double-digit vote share after dismal performances in earlier polls. The BJP has made an aggressive push for support in the state, with half a dozen visits by Prime Minister Modi this year. Kishore said the BJP will have surprises in Telangana, where it might emerge number 1 or 2, but he warned West Bengal could be a shocker, where it might emerge right on top of the list. He said it is unlikely that the BJP will hit the target figure of 370 seats, but support from northern regions will help win the polls easily. The Supreme Court has restored the bail of a YouTuber in Tamil Nadu in a row over derogatory comments against Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Sathai Murugan challenged the Madras High Court's decision to revoke his bail on the grounds that he continued with his alleged offensive content despite being granted a bail. The country's highest court said there was no evidence that the YouTuber had misused his liberty. The court also refused to impose restrictions on his posts. The ruling is significant as it comes just days before the state votes in India's national elections, when social media is expected to be flooded with content on election topics. Stalin's DMK is an ally of the Congress Party and a member of the India Alliance, the main opposition bloc in the polls. Prominent politician from Telangana state, Kavitha, has been denied bail in the case over bribes for liquor contracts. The Rouse Avenue Court rejected her appeal for a temporary bail to be with her teenage son while he prepared for his exams. Kavitha is accused of offering bribes to the government of Delhi to secure contracts to sell liquor in the state, a charge she has denied. She is the daughter of Telangana's former Chief Minister Chandrasekhara Rao, who is being represented by senior attorney Abhishek Singhvi. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is the most prominent face in the case, who was sent to jail last month, which sparked protests by members of his party and its political allies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his latest comments on Arunachal Pradesh, reiterated that the region will always remain with India. His remarks on the northeastern state are viewed seriously, as China has often said the territory belongs to it. Prime Minister Modi said there is rapid development in the northeastern region, which he compared to the first rays of the sun. In his Northeast initiative, the Prime Minister travelled to the region last month and unveiled development projects valued at 55,000 crore rupees. During the visit, the Sela Tunnel, which is thought to be a strategic game-changer, was inaugurated. The tunnel enables the military to quickly move supplies to forward positions facing the Chinese side. Beijing reacted with a diplomatic protest with India in the aftermath of the development push. According to reports in the media, despite efforts by Vistara Airlines, the crisis sparked by pilot protests is far from over. Sources with deep knowledge of the situation said the full-service carrier is planning to borrow pilots from Air India, as both airlines belong to the Tata Group. Under India's aviation laws, the first officers to be loaned should complete the mandatory 40-day training before being inducted. Vistara announced on Sunday that it is reducing the number of daily flights to reduce pilot workload. After a series of cancellation of flights, the airline said that it has improved its on-time performance over the past several days. The pilots at Vistara, which is in the process of merging with Air India, are not pleased with their new contracts because they received a higher percentage of flying-related incentives and a smaller fixed pay component. Millions of sky gazers are expected to follow the total solar eclipse in parts of North America, an event when the moon completely conceals the sun. It starts over the Pacific Ocean's Cook Islands and ends over Canada's Newfoundland and Labrador, before passing via Mexico and 13 U.S. states. The eclipse's totality path will see the sky completely dark for 4 minutes and 9 seconds. According to NASA, the eclipse is special because it will pass across many crowded cities, with an estimated 31.5 million people able to watch it. Throughout the cosmic event, NASA will carry out a number of experiments, such as firing rockets into the eclipse's shadow and deploying research jet planes to follow its course. According to experts, the solar eclipse should be watched through glasses to experience the astronomical spectacle safely. The Israeli military has said that it was withdrawing all of its troops from southern Gaza, leaving just one brigade there, but it said a significant force would still remain in the enclave, which is being seen as a tactical move. A spokesman for the Israel Defense Forces said that it is another stage in the war effort, rather than an indication that the conflict might be coming to a conclusion. A U.S. national security official said the pullout appeared to be a rest and refit and not necessarily indicative of some upcoming new operation. Since the start of the fighting in October, Israel's offensive in Gaza has claimed the lives of over 33,000 Gazans. On Sunday, representatives from Israel and Hamas announced that they had traveled to Cairo to participate in new ceasefire talks. The UN's atomic watchdog has warned that there is a greater chance of a major nuclear accident following a recent drone attack on Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia power station. Russia claimed that the incident, which left 3 people injured, was the work of Ukraine, but it denied any involvement. On the front lines of the battle between Russia and Ukraine is a massive nuclear plant that is controlled by Russia and has 6 reactors. The International Atomic Energy Agency of the UN has cautioned against such attacks on several occasions. The head of the agency described the drone attack that occurred on Sunday as reckless and a major escalation of the nuclear safety and security dangers facing the plant. New Zealand has tightened work visa regulations in response to what it calls unsustainable levels of migration. Low-skilled candidates can now only remain on for 3 years as opposed to 5 and must meet English language proficiency standards. Immigration Minister Erica Stanford stated, "The government's plan to rebuild the economy depends on getting our immigration settings right." Last year, a record number of around 173,000 people immigrated to New Zealand. Most work visa candidates now have to meet standards for job experience and abilities under the stricter regulations. Before making an employment offer to migrants, employers must make sure they match the qualifications. With 5.3 million people living there, New Zealand has seen a spike in immigration since the end of 2022. A horrific video of a Boeing 737's engine tearing apart during takeoff has gone viral online. When the Southwest Airlines flight from Denver to Houston took off Sunday morning, a number of passengers saw the engine of the aircraft tearing apart. 25 minutes after the flight took off, the aircraft was forced to make an emergency landing at Denver International Airport. Witnesses on the plane told a news network that when the engine cover exploded, it felt like a bomb blast. There were 150 passengers on board at the time of the incident. It comes at a time when Boeing is under investigation and criticism following a series of similar incidents. The most serious of them was when the door of a Boeing 737 MAX 9 blew apart in midair in January. Authorities have said at least 90 people died after a boat capsized off the northern coast of Mozambique. Out of the approximately 130 passengers thought to have been on board, officials in the province of Nampula reported that 5 had been rescued. According to the official, they were escaping a cholera outbreak, and many among the dead were youngsters. He said the boat sank because it was unfit to sail and overcrowded. Several bodies were allegedly seen laying on a beach in an unverified footage that was shared on social media. According to Portuguese network RTP, the boat was reportedly making its way to a nearby island off the coast of Nampula, a province worst hit by the cholera outbreak. South Korea successfully launched its second indigenous spy satellite into orbit on board a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from Florida. It followed its first satellite launch in December from California. The event was broadcast live, with the satellite reaching its orbit and establishing communication with ground control post-launch. This development is part of South Korea's efforts to enhance its military space capabilities amidst a regional space race with North Korea, which has also announced plans for spy satellite launches. The South Korean satellite features advanced technology like synthetic aperture radar for all-weather imaging, bolstering its reconnaissance capabilities. Tensions are high as North Korea may soon launch another satellite, with South Korean officials closely monitoring the situation. A group of friends experienced a remarkable landing at Edinburgh Airport as Storm Kathleen brought 50 miles per hour winds. The group returning from Oslo were aboard a small Cessna plane operated by VistaJet. Despite the storm's severity, with parts of Scotland facing strong winds, the pilots skillfully navigated the challenging conditions. The pilots had forewarned the passengers of the windy descent, which pushed the aircraft to its limits. The passengers managed to capture the tense moments on camera. The successful landing, attributed to the pilots' expertise, stood out against the backdrop of widespread flight cancellations, with around 140 flights grounded across UK airports due to the storm. This event highlights the pilots' exceptional abilities and the importance of safety in adverse weather conditions. Thank you for watching. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Do tune in, same time tomorrow, for a roundup of the latest news and updates in India and around the world.